Hello everyone, myself Nilesh Mohan Ghagat, physical education teacher, a part of DG Khetan International School. Welcome to today's physical education session. In this session, we are going to learn about Indian traditional games. So, let's start. In India, we have many interesting and exciting traditional games. Few of them are like Gilli Danda, Lagori, hide and seek, Kanche means marble, Kabaddi, Kho-Kho, Mallakham, Langdi and flying kites. Each game known by different names in different states of India. These games are popular in all the states of India. But out of these traditional games, there are two games which are not popular only in India but they are popular in worldwide also. These games are Kabaddi and Kho-Kho. The affection towards these sports of people increasing day by day not only in India but in many foreign countries also. So let's know more in details about these two Indian traditional games. In this video we are going to learn about history of these two traditional games, rules and regulations and achievement of Indian Kabaddi and Kho-Kho team at international levels.
The ancient sport that dates back to about 5,000 years is said to have its beginning during the Kurukshetra war. Our ancestors created Kabaddi to remember the bravery of one of the heroes. Kabaddi is called in different names in different places, such as Hututu in Western India, Hadudu in Eastern India and Bangladesh, Chedugudu in Andhra and Telangana, Kaunbada in Northern India, Sadugudu in Tamil Nadu, Jai Bhavani in Maharashtra, Bhatvik in the Maldives. Modern Kabaddi is a synthesis of the game played in various forms under different names. To further dig into the topic, let's start with the story. Kabaddi is a very ancient game that is played from the time of Mahabharata. Krishna and Balrama played Kabaddi with an Asura sent by Kamsa and killed him. Further, Lord Krishna teaches Abhimanyu in the womb about Chakravyuha. By the time Krishna reaches the point in the story where he teaches how to break the Chakravyuha and come out, Subhadra, the mother of Abhimanyu, whose womb Abhimanyu will be in, falls asleep. So Abhimanyu will never learn to break and come out of Chakravyuha. Unfortunately, when he goes alone breaking the Chakravyuha, he gets killed by the Kauravas. Kabaddi was created by our ancestors to remember Abhimanyu and his bravery. The Chakravyuha formed by the Kauravas was a 7-tiered defensive mechanism. If you observe in Kabaddi, there are 7 defensive players. They will all form a semicircle to trap the raider, exactly how the Chakravyuha created by the Kauravas trapped Abhimanyu. This was a mandatory game for kings and was the first step for a warrior to learn war. Buddhist literature mentions Gautama Buddha playing Kabaddi with his peers in Gurukula, which is even recorded in one of his movies, which was released in 1993. Also, many people attribute the origins of Kabaddi to the Tamil region of India that spread this game to Southeast Asia during its sea trade. Kabaddi word derives from a combination of two Tamil words, Kai, Pidi. Kai Pidi means to hold hands. We can clearly see the players from the defending teams holding their hands to form a semicircle. People in Tamil Nadu even today call it Veera Veliyattu, meaning a game of warriors. At present, as we mentioned before, there are several types of Kabaddi. However, despite the differences, Kabaddi calls the tremendous fitness of body and mind. It instills the ability to concentrate as well as anticipate the opponent's move. Kabaddi demands a range of skills that are the prerequisites to play an official game.
The rules of Kabaddi. Kabaddi is an Indian sport played with 2 teams of 12 players, with 7 players taken to the court at any one time. The game is played on a rectangular court that's generally a maximum of 13 metres by 10 metres. This is a midline that divides the court into 2, and these are the balk lines, the end lines, the bonus lines, and this is the lobby area. I'll explain what these are shortly. The object of the game is for your team to score more points than the opposing team. A team must send a player, known as a raider, into the opposing half of the court whilst chanting the word Kabaddi repeatedly. A raider must only use one breath and chant the word Kabaddi repeatedly to show the referee that he is exhaling and not holding his breath. The first goal of the raider is to reach the balk line. Failure to do this results in the raider being out and cannot participate in the next part of the game. The second goal of the raider is to touch as many players as he can and make it back to the midline before he is caught and tackled by the defenders. He can do this in several ways, with a hand touch, a toe touch, a kick, or by trying to escape a tackle and reaching for the midline. He gets 1 point for every opposing defender that he touches, so long as he makes it back to the midline, or whilst repeatedly chanting the word Kabaddi. And any touched defenders are out and cannot participate in the next round of play. Understand so far? Cool, let's continue. The defenders, sometimes known as antis, will try and stop the raider returning to the midline, especially if one of them has been touched. They can use several tactics such as the ankle hold, back hold, front tackle, and forcing them off the court entirely. If the defenders manage to stop the raider returning to his own half of the court, the raider is out and the defending team gets 1 point. Once a raider is finished, the opposing team must send out a raider of their own within 5 seconds, or the team will lose a point. Got it? Good, because it's about to get a lot more complicated. When a player is out, he must wait in the sitting block and is temporarily unable to participate in the game. Once a raider has been tackled, or a point has been scored, they are allowed to revive one of their own players out of the sitting block to rejoin the team. This means that every time you score, you can revive one or more of your players back onto the field of play. The game is played in 2 20-minute halves for a combined playing time of 40 minutes. Highest score at the end of time wins. Kabaddi is the ultimate game of cat and mouse, as the defenders have to be far enough away so that they can't be touched, but also close enough to tackle the raider should he decide to make a run for it. This is a highly strategic sport, and there's a few more rules that you'll need to understand before playing or watching a game. For example, the lobby. The lobby is an extended area of play, which is denoted by the yellow areas here. These are only active when a defender has been touched, and gives both the raider and defender more room to try and score or get the raider out. Bonus line. As mentioned before, this is the bonus line. If a raider puts 1 foot in the bonus line with 1 foot in the air, he will score 1 point so long as he makes it back to the midline. However, the bonus line is quite far from the midline, and reaching for this line makes it easier for the defender to tackle you. The bonus line is only active when there are 6 or 7 defenders on the court. Super tackle. If there are 3 or less defenders on the defending team, and they manage to tackle a raider, this is known as a super tackle and scores 2 points. 1 point for eliminating the raider, and a bonus point for doing so with 3 or less defenders. Do or die raid. If a team has 2 unsuccessful raids, i.e. they score 0 both times, the third raid is the do or die raid. Failing to score on the third raid in a row results in the raider being out. Pursuit. A pursuit is where a defender charges at a retreating raider with the aim of scoring quick points off him. This is usually done if the other team is slow to retreat from a raid and the defender is close enough to score a point and make it back to the midline quickly before the other players realise. All out. If in the rare instance a raider gets all the defenders out in one raid, this is known as an all out. The raiding team gets 1 point per player and an additional 2 points. All players are revived after an all out. To the uninitiated, Kabaddi seems strange, confusing, even ridiculous. But once you understand the rules, it becomes an interesting sport to watch.
When a raider initiates a touch on the opposition player using his hand, it is called a hand touch. When he initiates a touch using his feet or toe, it is called a toe touch. Whenever a defender tackles the raider by catching hold of his thigh, it is termed a thigh hold. When a defender tackles the raider by catching hold of his ankle, it is termed an ankle hold. An ankle hold is typically performed by a corner defender. When a defender tackles the raider by positioning himself between the raider and the midline and blocks the raider from returning back to the midline, it is termed a block. When the raider is dashed out of court of play beyond the lobby by a defender, it is termed a dash. A dash is typically performed by a cover defender.
Now let's know more about the Indian Kabaddi team achievements. Kabaddi World Cup. The Kabaddi World Cup is an indoor international kabaddi competition conducted by the International Kabaddi Federation in the standard style, contested by men's and women's national team. The competition has been previously contested in 2004, 2007 and 2016. All the tournaments have been won by India. South Asian Games SAG. Kabaddi was introduced in 1985 at South Asian Games. There were no Kabaddi tournament in 1984 version. India is the most successful team in the South Asian Game. Asian Games. Kabaddi made its first appearance as an exhibition sport at the 1982 and became an Asian Game event since 1990 in Beijing, China. Until the 2018 edition, India always dominated the event by winning the highest number of gold medals in both men's and women's category. These are the stars of our Indian Kabaddi team. Together they have made us feel proud by winning many titles in the world of Kabaddi. Many of them you must have seen in Pro Kabaddi tournament like Anup Kumar, captain of U Mumbai, Ajay Kumar, captain of Tamil Thalaivas, Deepak Huda, Jaipur Pink Panther, and Pradeep Narwal, Patna Pirates, etc. Till now, here we learn about Kabaddi. Now, let's move to our other most popular Indian traditional game, Kho.
Kho, one of the two most popular active Indian traditional games, the other being Kabaddi, is the game of run and chase which demands both physical fitness and strategy. It derived its name from the Sanskrit Latin word Kho, which means get up and go. So to start with, let us first know some history of Kho and its origin. Kho is considered to be an ancient game of undivided India. Probably was derived from the different strategy and tactics of Kurukshetra war of the great Mahabharata. The chariot fight during the war and the zigzag pathways followed by the retreating soldiers indicate the formation of a chain play, a defensive skill in the game of Kho. The methods adopted by Abhimanyu, the son of Arjun, to fight against the Kauravas' typical strategy of Chakravyuha resembles the idea of ring play, a defensive tactic in Kho. The present appearance of the game was an adoption from about the time of one in 1914. But it's when the Deccan Gymkhana Club of Pune, under the supervision and guidance of the great Indian leader Sri Lokmanya Tilak and Bhai Narorkar, drafted the first rules and regulations of the game, which symbolized the metamorphism of the game soon. The game, with its fast pace, soon started attracting players and fascinated the spectators, and has also seen various improvements and developments in the game and its rules, like inclusion of poles, move from mud to mat, etc., etc. The year 1936 was marked as a golden year in the history of Kho, when at the Berlin Olympics an exhibition of Kho was made in the main stadium. Kho then also featured in the Asian Games in 1982 for the first time in New Delhi, and was officially included as one of the main featured games in the 12th South Asian Games in 2016 held in Guwahati, Assam.
In 2018, Kho achieved a new milestone when it featured in the Khelo India School Games and was the first time when the game was officially broadcasted on an international scale at Star Sports.
Now, let us see how this wonderful game of Kho is played. Kho is played on a rectangular court with a line drawn lengthwise across the center, and two poles are stuck in the ground on each end. There are two teams with 12 players each, out of which 9 players play the game at a time. The two teams are called a chasing team and a defending team. The chasing team enters the court first, and 8 of the 9 players sit on the center line, all evenly spaced out. The players alternately face opposite directions away from the center line. The ninth player is the chaser, and he stands next to the pole. Once the chasing team takes their respective position, then the three defenders from the defending team enter the court. The game now starts with the whistle, where the chasing team tries to capture as many defenders as possible within the inning time of 9 minutes by tagging them. There are 4 innings of 9 minutes each, giving both the teams 2 sets of equal opportunities to chase as well as defend. During the play, the defenders can cross the center line to escape from the chaser. However, the chaser cannot do so. The defenders can even run in any direction to escape from the chaser, while the chaser can run only in one direction. Once he starts running, he cannot turn around or change his direction. In order for him to change directions, he must run to a pole and around it in the free zone. But in order to chase down the defenders quickly, a chaser can switch his position with any of his teammates by touching a sitting teammate on the back and shouting out "Ko." The new chaser pursues the defenders on the half of the court he was facing. Every time when all the 3 defenders of a batch are captured, a batch of 3 new defenders enter the court till the end whistle of the innings. The team with the maximum number of captures at the end of the 4th innings wins the game. As simple as that. Moving forward, let's put our eyes on the key skills and USPs of this fantastic game. The game of Kho-Kho demands the highest degree of quick and brisk movement, with very high grade of nerve reflexes and tremendous stamina, which are the characteristics of a supreme athlete. Not only this, but major skills are required for this game are speed, like the sprint speed of a 100-meter racer. Flexibility, like a gymnast. Endurance, like a long racer of marathon. Strength of a footballer. Agility, like a cricketer. The neuromuscular combinations, like a chess player. That means there is no doubt where we can say Kho-Kho is the game of games, or one game with the skills of multiple sports. Moving forward, we would like to bring forward to you some interesting facts about the game of Kho-Kho. As we say, Kho-Kho is based on the natural principles of physical development and fosters a healthy combative spirit. It also burns around 6,000 to 7,000 calories per player during the game. It is one of the most affordable and easily accessible games, as it requires the least infrastructure and almost negligible equipments for playing. It is even used as a training regime in cricket camps of the Indian cricket team for the development of strength and skills of the players. Cricketers like Sachin Tendulkar, Sandeep Patil and Kiran More have even played Kho-Kho in their initial years. In fact, Mr. Sandeep Patil has also been a national Kho-Kho player. Unlike cricket or football, where the mesmerizing diving catch or a goal shot becomes the match moment of the game, there are phenomenal dives in Kho-Kho at every other second, and thus it makes the sport very spectator friendly. Recently, the England team visited India for a test match series, and we also had an Asian Championship which was held at Indore, where countries like Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal and Korea participated. It is now widely played at clubs, zonal and national levels in many countries, including England, Scotland, Peru, Malaysia, Thailand, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Nepal, Korea, Bhutan, Afghanistan, Myanmar, Singapore, Iran, UAE, Saudi, Qatar, etc., etc., etc.
These are the stars of our Indian Kho-Kho team. Very soon you will get chance to see them in a version like Pro Kabaddi. Traditional games are not just a game. They were designed in a such a way that one can develop lot of skills like logical thinking, building strategy, concentration, basic mathematics, aiming, and lot more. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you find this video informative. Bye. Take care. Stay safe. Stay fit.